Alright, let's use Blender to add some materials, some textures to these alien eggs. I've got my little landscape here, and I've instanced these around so that my poly count hasn't increased. Alright, in other words, I just created a collection instance called egg here, and I've just gone Shift A, collection instance, egg, and I've copied them around. So now we're going to add materials here. So let's click new, call this egg. And here we go. I'll come over to look depth for now. I've also added some lights and a camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a Voronoi texture. And I'm going to add a color ramp. Drag the distance into the FAC. I'm going to switch this to smooth F1. And if I just shift click on that, I'm going to increase my scale to around, I don't know, 22. Drag these out. Let's come over. We're going to use this as bump. So vector bump. Drag this into the height. And I'll shift click there. And you can see we get this pattern here. Okay, let's shift click on the principled, and let's just drag that into the normal down here. All right, I get this pattern all over. Let's switch this to 0.2 so it's not too much of it. So we're starting to get a little bit of texture on that egg there. I'm going to change my base color for now to there. Drag my roughness up. Okay, so this is what I'm getting here. Add another texture here. Let's just copy this, Shift D, or duplicate it down. With the node wrangler enabled, I can Shift S and switch it to this, to noise. This is probably going to be around 40. And shift click on that. Okay, we're going to add this. So I'm going to do color, a mix RGB, drop that in there. I'm going to switch this to add. Plug that in there. Shift click on my principled. And now I've got this noise in there as well. For this black, I'm just going to bring it up so it's not so intense. And now I've got that. So it's coming along. I want to adjust the color and texture just on these where the egg splits. And the way I can do that is I can come back here. I'm going to go into edit mode. In face selection, I'm going to Shift Alt and click that loop that goes all the way around, and Control Plus to expand my selection. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to switch to Vertex Paint. And now I have just the vertices selected for that area. Go to my tool, make sure it's down here in black. And I'm just going to paint over here. And don't have to be too accurate or anything. I want it to be kind of a rough. All right. just like that. And that creates sort of a map in here called color. I'll switch back to object mode. I'll go back into look dev, vertex color, choose that map. I'll take this color ramp, copy it up, color into the FAC. I'm going to drag that color into base color so you can see where that goes. So I've done sort of a rough job there. And now I can color my egg. I'll bring that back to a sort of a dark gray, a bit of green in there. And this you can do whatever you want. It's a slightly different color. Alright, so I got that in there. And now what I'll do, let's try adding a point light. So that's inside the first egg. I'm going to switch this to like a green. Make it 1,000. Okay, so it's in the egg there. Now let's change this material here on the ground just to make it a little bit darker. And increase the roughness quite a bit. So you'll notice that in Eevee, I get this light down here, which is not desirable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the point light, and under contact shadows down here, and thickness, play with the thickness. I'm going to drag to the right until that disappears. So now I've got that. I'm going to delete that for now. Alright, so I'm going to come to here, to my vertex colors, deselect, I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to just select some stuff here and there. And you can see that it's going on all of the other ones because they're instants. Just that. Okay. Switch to vertex paint and just paint some areas here. Just do this quick. Spend as much time as you want on that. Okay. So I've got that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this principled and I'm going to duplicate it up. And I'm going to add a mix shader. I'm going to drag this down. And I'm just going to take these. No, I'm just going to take this one. And I'm going to duplicate it up here. Bring it in here. And just before I do anything, I'm going to add my next texture. And to do that, I'm going to grab this stuff here, Shift-D, bring it up. I'm going to use a noise texture. But here, let's just bring this back to close to what it would normally be. And we'll do a bump. Color into height. We'll leave it at 1 for the moment. I'm going to bring this into the normal. Alright, so this is the effect that I start to get. Let's see if I can just focus on just that itself. for the moment. Okay, so what I want to do here is press Control T for a coordinate and mapping node. I'm going to Shift Control click there, and now I'm going to play with the Z. I'm going to squash these down and adjust these a little bit so I get these lines like that. I might try Object. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So now we will come back to here. And I'm going to grab that, put that into the FAC. And so now I start to get these lines in here. Let's flip these. Okay, so now I have another region in there with a bit more texture. Okay. All right, and I think I'm going to do one more thing on here. So I'm going to grab, let's say, I want the Voronoi, Shift-D, and pull that down. And we're going to take another bump down here. It's going to go in there. That's going to go in here. Shift Control there. Okay. And I want some circles. Just like this. Yeah, like that. So I got all that stuff mixed in together. I'm going to bring that point light back in there. let's have a look at a render of that. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit less of that stuff there. We can play with the roughness if you want a little bit more wet sort of look. And there are my alien eggs. We'll have a look from another view and leave it at that. There we go. That's it. Thanks for watching.